On this podcast, we've made it our goal to answer one very simple yet extremely complicated question. What is the best anime? But to answer that question, we need to answer an even simpler yet even more complicated question. What is anime? And today's topic makes that question even more complicateder, while also being less complicated. One of you guys needs to say your name. Thank you.
I'm Tristan.
I'm Miles.
I'm Geoff.
You just kept going.
I left a very pregnant pause. And this is the quest for the best.
It certainly is, Geoff. It certainly is. We're questing, we're besting.
This is actually kind of the perfect episode to do that, because you asked the question of what is anime, and anytime somebody says the words, what is anime, I think of this very old commercial that, what is anime? Anime is action, sci-fi, and the voiceover for that commercial, I am 90% sure is Monica Rial, who does Stocking.
Is that not kid stuff?
Not kid stuff. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, from the, was that, yeah, the
ADV.
Yeah, that was an old ADV commercial. Still good. Just
I when I was at Crunchyroll, I tried to say, can we just remake this commercial beat for beat? And they're like, the lawyers are like, no, but you can make something that riffs off it. And I it never was important enough to do, when you've got 5 million things to do. But I'm like, I really want to make my own stamp on this. I think I could do not a better version necessarily, but I really wanted to make
you do something in that strike zone, in the Garuga Mesh strike zone.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. No, that would have been really good viral marketing.
And then also pay Monica Rial to do the VO.
Oh, absolutely. 1000%. Yeah. She's the best. So speaking of Monica Rial, our main topic today is Panty Stocking. But before that, we've got a special, we're going to switch things up just slightly today. We're going to do our side quest first and then our question of the week.
And our side quest this week has been put together by the wonderful, talented, and amazing producer Yazy, who has gone into the wilds of Akihabara to find for us
hell
itself, to find for us various used anime products, which we are going to be the Price is Writing. Okay, so we've got our first quiz item.
Yes, so here we have the slime from Slime.
Mr. Rimuru.
I included my thumb for scale so you could figure out the size of it. It is originally a Kuji prize, I believe. So it was a lottery prize, a randomized lottery prize.
And we're doing this in yen, right?
Yes, you are doing it in yen. For Canadian dollars, just add 2 zeros on it.
Just add 2 zeros, yeah.
And for those of you who do not have grandparents who live in the United States or Canada, Price and Right rules means that you can go want to get as close as possible without going over.
Yes, whoever's closest without going over. Let me know when you're all locked in.
Locked in.
I'm always locked in.
I just realized that I use this as a prop on the Basement Life channel.
What does it say on the back?
Intro ideas. So the joke was that I was every episode I would pull this out and go through a different intro idea for the second channel. Haven't done that in a while.
All right. Are we all locked in?
I think so.
All right, Tristan, you first.
3,500.
Okay, Geoff?
400 yen.
400 yen. And Miles?
949.
Actual resale price is 9,800 yen.
Holy crap!
Which means the point goes to Tristan.
$100 for that little lump of plastic?
$100.
See, I didn't think it was plastic. It looked glass to me. That's why I was just that's probably
it looks like resin.
No, he's plastic. Yeah, he's like cheap plastic.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like
he's slightly see-through, or that thing is slightly see-through, but
still
it is plastic.
That must.
The one in the background is a little cheaper at only 3,000 yen.
That's a paperweight. That's not even a paperweight. It's probably not even heavy
big enough to be a
to hold
paperweight,
down your paper.
I mean, it feels bad.
Nope.
I actually have a Rimuru Slime paperweight somewhere, just not here. But like, it feels bad that I won and I'm only at a third of the price.
Yep.
I completely underestimated that one.
Well, I heard your two answers and I was like, oh, I blew it. So
No, I mean, the thing is, like, Miles and I are pricing this based on knowledge of what, like, a typical Kuji prize would be worth. But $100 for that thing?
Mm-hmm.
I just went on vibes.
How?
Apparently that's the way to go.
I mean,
Yeah, apparently vibes was correct. All right, are we ready for our next item?
Your price is almost, it's one of the ones in the back, you know?
Next up, we have this Pikachu plush. Now, it is important to note that this was designed by the creator of Chiikawa. So this was designed, this is based off art by Nagano. That I am throwing you a bone here and letting you know this is not any old Pikachu. This is specifically a Nagano Pikachu.
I'm locked in. I'm always locked in. No, I'm not locked in.
You were. Don't second guess yourself. Go with the gut.
Nope.
Part of the cards.
I'm locked in.
Okay. I'm locked in.
Cool.
All right, everybody ready? All right, Tristan, go ahead.
120.
Okay. Geoff?
18. Oh, God, that's hard. 18,000 yen.
Miles?
174,000 yen.
Actual resale price is 248,000.
That's insane.
Or 24,000.
That's insane.
Yes. 240 Canadian dollars for a Nagano
and
Pikachu.
the Slowpoke's $150. I assume that
Yes, but that is not a Nagano Slowpoke though. Oh, maybe it is.
I assume that the Meowth is priced similarly. If those are all from the same set.
In a row, yeah.
The Meowth is a Nagano Meowth.
Yeah,
yes.
and if the
But yes, that is the Chiikawa tax and the Pokemon tax, or the Pikachu
combined.
tax. Sorry.
Yeah.
You got the Pikachu tax, you got the Chiikawa
and
tax.
the general Pokemon
I figured
tax.
it would be like in the hundreds, but it was, again, we're doing prices right. So it's like, I don't want to go too high.
Yeah, you don't want to go too crazy.
Yeah.
But
So,
all right. The next item we have
the next item up for bid.
is this very freaky looking light figure. He
With box. It says with.
Oh, that is important. So I'm gonna go to the second photo because I do have a close up of his face, so you can see the quality. There is a
not
close up
great.
of his face.
Well, okay, wait. The facial sculpt isn't good. The sculpt on that book and the paint on the Death Note book is actually quite
reasonable.
That's like that is actually very impressive print, or possibly
But yes, you can see the size there, quite small.
it's probably a decal that they
quite-
applied at the factory.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I figured.
probably.
Yeah.
But like still, that's a good looking detail of a blob of paint and plastic.
For a prize fig. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I was not able to find the original price of this.
Oh, so like the OG, like what it was.
Yes, because this is a figure, but I could not find it anywhere. It was not on my figure collection. So,
Well then. That means it's either super rare or garbage.
Or just old.
True. I'm just going on vibes.
All right.
That's been my thing. I'm not second guessing. I'm just like this.
All right.
All right, Tristan's up first.
85 for light.
85. All right, Geoff.
I'm grossly overguessing, I'm sure, but 25,000. 25,000.
And Miles.
3333.
All right, actual resale price is 128.
I overguessed.
Who won? I don't know.
It's Tristan.
Yeah, it's Tristan.
Tristan, yes.
But like, damn, I knew it would be at least $100. Holy crap! What a
Well, I mean, you say that, but is that Mellow in the background is only 1,000 from the same series. So like, that's kind of the scale I was thinking of. Like the like C tier ones are going to be like 1,000 yen if they're a prize figure, and the nice one's going to be a 3 to 6 multiple.
Here's the thing, though. There's the tag. The tag says with box.
yeah. If you look at the scale, this is a blind box for sure.
No, I don't think so. No,
it's a prize fig. This is an arcade machine price. 100%.
You think so?
Sure.
What's the scale? Because it looks really small.
Not that big.
I mean, you can see him next to the price tag.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right?
The price tag is really like. So
that's pretty normal. Like
I would assume that
UFO
this is
catcher.
He was like palm
Like
sized, maybe.
these all have the same base, and they're all like, I think it's a prize or blind box.
No, I think it's a regular prize.
You
figure,
think?
not a blind
I mean,
box.
you were closer to it, so you know the scale better than I do. But it looks like teeny tiny, like this big.
No, it's not that small. No. I would say it's about the size of your hand.
Oh, like that? Okay, yeah. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah.
I have a few figures that big. Nothing out. I have a saber figure that big.
How many did you actually get with a UFO catcher, though, Tristan?
I don't put money in UFO catchers, Miles.
I'm still sad we didn't
I could
bully
learn
you when
from
we were in
that.
Tokyo to like make content of Tristan doing UFO catcher for the first time. I would love it if you did it enough that some equally awkward employee came up to you and awkwardly helped you get the prize or like adjusted the machine
and then gave it to you and said it was a Valentine's present, and then you end up falling in love with them.
No, that's a terrible show. And by terrible, I mean the show itself is fine. The English is terrible. I can't watch it.
You think it's some of the best English in any anime I've ever seen. English?
No.
Yeah? We could talk about this another time, but the act
Must be puberty.
All right, so what's the score right now? Tristan 2, Geoff 1, right?
I believe so. Yes, I don't have paper with me.
I'm only tracking it if somebody tells me I won. Beyond that, I don't care.
So you're at 2, right?
I think, yes, I was
Yes.
told I won too.
Okay.
Okay, next one we have this very nice Cheryl figure. Now, 'cause that's her name, right? Cheryl.
Yes,
no?
it is.
So, just a little background on this. It released back in 2014.
So it's old.
It is quite large, as you can tell. Quite large. It's
Gonna vibes
and the original retail, I will give you that part. The original retail was, I have it set to USD, 180 USD.
Okay.
So
Ooh.
Who designed it?
This is based off of one of the, what's it called?
it's from the movie.
Yeah, this is the character design from the movie. Like, so whoever's the character designer from the recap film did this.
All right, I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
Ready?
Everybody locked in? All right. Tristan?
500.
Geoff?
I'm gonna do 66,600 yen.
Okay. And Miles?
22,050.
Well, actual resale price is down in the corner, 120. 12.
We all overshot.
That was a curveball. You all overshot.
Wow.
Nobody wants her, apparently. There's 2 of them on the shelf.
Oh,
I
damn
thought
it!
That's a
maybe
good
somebody
hint.
would pick up that there was
That, yeah.
more than one.
Very clever, Yazy. I was like,
That was a curveball. No point.
No
I
point.
thought this was going to be close because, what's it called? I just figured a lot of figures do not actually appreciate from retail, especially when they're opened. So I'm like,
Well, yeah, if they're not open, but like at least some of the ones that I've cared about have only like skyrocketed in price
because you
since
care
release.
about them.
I
That's
know.
a very intricate figure for
It
$120.
is. Like I would not have like as soon as you said like the retail price of the fig, I was just like, it's not that anymore. It has to be higher than that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I figured it would be.
Apparently not. Okay. Cool.
Here we go.
Oh,
All right. So we have a Gojo badge, 57 millimeters. So if you take a look at the badge in the background, it is not a large size badge. This is a small size badge of the fruitiest looking Gojo you've ever seen in your entire
But
life.
it is Gojo.
This was a Kuji prize.
Okay.
This
But
could
it
be
is-
anywhere. This could be 500 yen. This could be 5,000 yen. This could be 50,000 yen, considering
It could
how crazy.
The Gojo
Fans
tax
can
is
be.
higher than Rem tax.
Not always. You can very easily get a affordable Gojo figure. It's just not going to be the one you want.
Yeah, but does he look this fruity
Yeah,
in that
no,
figure? No,
no.
that you got. There's also there's that kind of tax on
Okay,
this too.
are we allowed to ask questions related to the? Okay.
No.
All right.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
All right, Tristan.
Bob, give me $1.
Safe. All right. Very safe. After the Cheryl mess up, very safe. Geoff?
I'm going for 9,000 yen. That's $90.
And Miles?
I'm going absurd. 11,000.
Actual resale price is
Oh boy. My first point.
$550.
$500.
Oh, damn it.
So wait, who was close in that one?
That was Miles.
Me.
Miles. Okay.
I'm
good
on the
job,
board.
Miles was close but not
Not that
very
close.
close.
I was 1/5 of the actual price.
This is like
Exactly.
the exact opposite direction of the last one.
Yep. Maybe we should have expected that.
No, that's
Gojo
it.
resellers stay winning.
No, that one's that's like up there with some of the hotel prizes.
That was the thing that we mentioned, like the Gojo tax. It could have been 500 yen. It could have been $500.
There's so the thing about those buttons that you got to be like really keen on is the girlies who want them will buy 12 each of that one and whatever the matching Suguru.
It's 24, not 12. Get it right.
I mean, it depends on how big your bag is, right? I guess, yeah. So they'll buy 24 of that, 24 of the matching Suguru Ghetto, and like tile them together. Or they'll buy 48 of that badge at that price if they can't get. If they weren't lucky enough to win the Kuji. There is someone out there walking around with a bag made of those that is worth more than a Gucci bag of the same size.
All right, let's get to our next item. It is this Usagi plushie from Chikawa. He is a ghost. So this is a Halloween special release. It is quite small. It is a keychain. It is, if you look at it next to the price tag, it is palm size. I'd say it's palm size. He fits in your palm. He is a little ball keychain.
Tristan, put your comma in the appropriate place. Don't use it as a decimal point cheat for you converting to Canadian. Goodness. Though I did mess up on the Pikachu I did. I would have gotten a lot closer had I not made that mistake myself.
I can see the little star behind him. Those stars, if you guys haven't watched Chikawa, the stars are super cute.
Is Chikawa on everybody's list? It should be.
We should do a Chikawa episode, unironically.
All right, Tristan, go ahead.
2,500. There, the comma's in the right place.
Thank you.
Geoff?
30,000 yen.
Miles?
Cornered in at 1,300.
Wait, no, that's go. Oh, you showed the Gojo. Yeah.
No, I see ghost. I see the ghost in the corner.
I showed it to the
ghost.
I should make these bigger.
You should. I've never once been able to see what's written on your paper. I'm just trusting what you're saying.
Well, yeah, because the camera that we're seeing is different from the camera he's recording from.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Actual resale price is...
Oh, my goodness.
1,400 Canadian dollars.
Yeah, I got it. On the board, baby.
I wouldn't celebrate. You barely got it.
Two, but yeah.
Jeez.
Hey, I guessed a third of the price.
This feels very different from Prices Right, where like voting $1 is usually a very good idea. Here it just happens to be, as long as you vote more than the other two, you're more likely to win.
I mean,
because we're just way off.
I grossly holy crap. No,
yeah. Think about that. Look at that.
Almost
figure out how small the thing is. That's more than most people's rent.
I have seen the matching Chikawa, and I remember it being very expensive, but I did not remember.
Usagi's going to always be the most expensive.
Usagi's always going to be the most expensive?
Always. He is the most popular.
That makes sense.
All right. Next up is this tiny little...
It's small.
Yeah, very small. But it is Bulma in the back.
Okay, it is.
On one hand.
It's OG.
On one hand, it's tiny.
OG Dragon Ball.
On the other hand, it is her in the bathtub.
It's Bulma in the bathtub. It's very clearly a older figure, which like either means it's worth a lot or nothing.
I disagree. You did not. So this looks like a cheaper figure, but has good shading, which means this is from the last 7 years or so. So the quality of the paint jobs on like prize figures has gone up pretty significantly in like the last decade or so. But based on the quality of the sculpt, this looks like a prize figure still.
Okay.
And so I'm helping you guys out here.
Yeah.
So I do not think this is more than 5 to 10 years old. Dragon Ball stuff is usually not that expensive, but when the Dragon Ball stuff hits, it is very expensive. So I'm going to write down a number.
But it is Bulma in a bathtub.
Oh, yeah,
And if it's, it would depend on how limited the prize run was or how many items there were. If it was like a collection of classic Dragon Ball moments and it was only available at a jump shop or something, that could be a lot.
Indeed, it could be.
I'm locked in.
I'm
probably undershooting this a lot, but, maybe that's the way to go. It has not historically been the way to go so far in this game, but whatever.
Okay.
All right,
Tristan.
7,500.
I hate you so much, Tristan.
Are we the same?
Worse.
If you're the same, you got to decide whether or not you want to go up or down by $1.
Put in 9,000 yen.
I'm 6,900.
All right. Actual resale price is...
Geoff.
That's Geoff.
18.
18,009.
Yes.
And even then, he was half the price of the thing.
They also had inflation sell, and he was the same price. So
I mean, it seems to be.
Inflation. Yeah.
It seems to be as long as you vote the highest out of the three of us, you get it more often than not.
Jeff has lost a couple by going over.
Have.
So.
I have.
He's still winning though.
Only by one. And,
doesn't matter. You only need one.
Like, really, the skill in this game is less about guessing the prices and more about trying to metagame how much of a pussy you guys will be in dialing in your prices.
All right, we are on our last item. Sorry to gojo you again, but this is a sticker. It is 50 millimeters by 50 millimeters, so it is quite small.
It's a stamp.
It is a sticker. It's larger than a stamp.
Okay, but not by much.
50 millimeters, so it's like
but how small was that freaking button?
That's true. That was 57 millimeters. So
you could reveal this and say that it's like $5,000, and I'd believe it.
Yeah. Well, remember what I told you in the previous one, though. There are things that affect the price.
Yeah.
Anyway, this was released as a set. It was a set for the 50th anniversary of Jump Shops.
The 9 of 9? Is that what that means?
That was the date it released. So it had the release date. This was a full set of all of Jump's manga.
This is before JJK was
and it had the release date.
Well, that doesn't matter because it's a product now. No. Regardless of when it was released.
That matters a lot. That matters a lot.
Because that means people didn't buy or keep them at the same rate, which means they're extremely limited. Because it's pretty anime.
Remember what I told you during the last Gojo.
All right, I'm ready. I'm locked in.
Yeah.
All right, Tristan.
25,000 yen.
I hate you so much, Tristan.
Again?
I'm actually going to lowball you guys this time. I'm going 100 or 19,000 yen.
So 19? We're all pretty grouped up. I'm 22,050.
All right. Actual resale price is 15. Womp,
we're all
womp.
over.
Nobody gets the points.
We're all over. That's
Remember what I told you? What affects the price is how fruity Gojo looks.
I mean, he looks a little bit fruity. Look at
not compared to the other one.
But yeah,
not compared to the other one.
That's just you revealing your bias, Geoff. That's not anything to do with her.
Maybe you're right.
Okay.
Maybe you're right. Yeah.
All right. Good game.
Good game. Thank you, Yazy.
Thank you. Yazy.
All right. I am out of here.
That was a really good game.
It was. All right, so with that, now we're going to go back to what we normally do first, but because we swap things around, it's all a little bit different this particular week. And today we're going to be doing our question of the week. And today's question is, when it comes to Mecha, who is your favorite pilot? And that comes to us via email from Philip Rodriguez. Favorite mech pilot.
Favorite mech pilot.
I mean, I have several, but if you were to... I do. Yeah. But I have one that I would put over pretty much all of the others very easily.
So that's called your favorite. So you only have one favorite.
Well, yeah, I have my favorite under different circumstances.
No, those are just things you like. Those are things you like. That's not your favorite, Tristan.
As we're going into this, we need to set some important ground rules.
No, everyone get your fucking papers out right now and write it down. Because we're all going to have the same answer.
Are we?
If you guys have any good taste, yes. Because Tristan basically gave away the plot here when he said, I have a lot of favorites, but there's one actual favorite, which means I
wrote down my top 3, and my top 1 is underlined.
I got to really think about it. And
because the moment you realize who it is, you're going to feel dumb for not having written it down already, Geoff.
The moment I realize who it is?
Go vibes.
Yeah.
Got to do vibes.
Go vibes, yeah.
Your heart of hearts. Who's the first one that reaches out to your heart of hearts and says, I am your pick for best mech pilot? I mean, I do have a clear one. I don't know if Miles has the same clear one.
I mean...
We'll find out. We've been wrong before. I'm pretty sure on this podcast...
You've been wrong before also.
I'm pretty sure on this podcast, we were going to do a thing of favorites. And you were like, oh, it's all going to be the same one. And then you were like, hey, let's all shout it out at the same time. And then we all shouted out different things.
Okay, well, there is one possibility. Because I feel like the correct answer has 2 different answers.
Then you will have one of those 2 as the right one. We're on the same page.
Okay.
Wait, so how did we want to do this?
We all wrote it down.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right? So we can go one by one. Let's go in the same order we just did that game show. Tristan.
So my number 1?
Yeah.
My number 1, I'm going to cover up the other 2. No, this is not going to work. Noriko. Gunbuster. Gunbuster. See? No.
Okay.
No argument. Final scene of Gunbuster. Music's blaring.
It's valid.
She's blowing up an entire galaxy, like not a full galaxy, that's Gurren Lagann, because they take after Gunbuster, but she's blowing up this entire fleet with nothing but punches and kicks and the power of love. It is amazing. Noriko from Gunbuster.
Yeah, Gunbuster's, by the way, spoilers, Gunbuster will be on the list.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is she the best pilot for one scene? Because really, that's the one scene of her as a pilot that, like...
She only needs one scene. If Gunbuster was a whole show... Like, it's not like this is a Gundam where she has 50 episodes that she can go sit in her mech.
Okay. All right.
And I have 2 more after her anyway.
All right.
But Heart of Hearts, Noriko from Gunbuster.
Okay, I'm turning
Geoff
mine
is next.
around. Simone.
I knew you were going to say that.
Did you pick?
Honestly, I'd put Kamino over Simone.
No, it's the
Yes.
arc. It's the arc. It's such a beautiful arc. Simone, he steps into Kamina's shoes and eventually succeeds him. It's a beautiful arc. There's an entire series of great moments. He has some of the greatest mech pilot moments of all time, basically back to back through the entire last half of the series.
The worst half of the series, yeah.
The awesome half of the series.
Because Gurren Lagann is very much blowing up galaxies. Gurren Lagann and Simone would be nothing without Noriko.
And Simone would be nothing without Kamina. Within Gurren Lagann.
Which is why Kamina's your pick?
Well, no. But I'm just saying I agree with Tristan that Kamina's the better pilot than Simone. Because, no, here, hold on. Kamina is just a punk-ass guy who just happens to be that talented through willpower alone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
And vibes. He has the aura.
Simone literally is trained to be the chosen one without, like, he's everything except for fate making him the best pilot in the world, in the universe.
I mean, arguably, he has a decent amount of fate there, too, but...
Yeah, well, but it's really, like, Kamina is just, his vibes are so hard that he is one of the greatest chances humanity has, right? Like, that's so incredible. And the charisma he has as a pilot, like the way he, pilots a mech, reeks charisma in a way that even adult Simone cannot capture.
Yeah, but I mean, adult Simone grows into his own as his own character, and that's, he's I find
Simone's
his arc really
character.
compelling.
Yeah, he's a great character. Congratulations. Go read.
But we're not doing best. We're doing best mech pilot.
If you want the best pilots,
who's the best pilot, Miles?
Char Aznavour.
That's fair. That is a very good choice.
I knew you were going to do that. That's why as soon as you said it's going to be the same one, I'm like, no, because you're going to pick Char and I'm not. Char's not even in my top 3.
No, Char is definitely top 3.
Not in my top 3.
Okay.
Sure, if you want to put him in your top 3s, fair.
Okay, Char does have an amazing arc.
I would only put Char in my top 3 so I can laugh at you. In fact, I'm put Char not in my top 3 so I could laugh at you.
Char, literally. And this is also the benefit to what you were saying, Tristan. This is the benefit of having a 40 whatever episode series to start off with, and then we spend hundreds more episodes with Char afterwards, right?
No, Miles just said something crazy. We get hundreds of episodes with Char. Where? Char's not in Zeta Gundam. Come on, man.
So
Tristan.
to my point then, Char has so many clones that almost every Char clone can be considered because of Char.
No!
And can be added to his count.
No. So one, I would not count that. That's pretty messed up of you. 2, that's basically like saying Simone should count for Noriko. Do you know what I mean?
And?
Well, I don't agree with the premise of that.
Okay,
so
that's
Char,
fine.
what Char does as a mech pilot, he is one of the greatest characters in all of fiction, in all of literature, and all of everything, right?
Yeah.
We all agree with this, right? Char is one of the greats.
Yes.
All-time greats. Within just the original Mobile Suit Gundam, there are about 36 situations where Char is in a fight and he gracefully exits the battlefield.
gracefully.
And each time is so interesting and impacts his characterization so much in a way that makes him just this very gripping beat by beat. On every 20 minutes of Gundam, you get so much Char characterization and personality. And the way he pilots the Gundam, the Zaku or whatever he's piloting, because he pilots a lot of things.
He does.
Expresses his personality in a way that every mecha series since has been trying to capture. And when you say Char clones, there's a reason so many characters try and copy Char. There's this asshole, Quattro Vegeta.
Quattro Vegeta.
There's this character, Quattro, who thinks he's the coolest shit in the world. And he is, but he's still just doing the Char thing.
He's just chasing Char's coattails.
The way Char moves is such poetry. The way Char's tactics work are so, there's some Machiavellian stuff going on there, but there's also there is he, as a new type and also just as a sociopath, he understands the psychology of human beings so well, and he employs that in the way he moves his giant robot in a way that is profound and impactful and so interesting.
I actually
every 20 minutes. Every 20 minutes he does this.
Yeah. He's got so many great quotes like blame this on the circumstances of your birth. Man, I said that and then I reminded myself of is it Gundam? Yeah, there's a spin-off of Gundam where Char it lives in a very small apartment in real world Tokyo. And there's an
G-Quacks?
No, it's a yeah. Separate. I'm not finished G-Quacks yet. Was that a spoiler?
I'm not finished it either.
It would be so crazy if the ending of G-Quacks was Char's daily life or whatever. Anyway, in this, there's a scene where he and Garma are hanging out. They go to a department store. They end up on the lingerie floor, and he closes the elevator door with Garma still on the floor, and he's like, blame this on the circumstances of your birth, Garma. It's just the exact speech from Gundam, but he's leaving him on the lingerie floor of the department store to be embarrassed. It's just peak writing. Anyway, I'm kind of coming around on Char, honestly, because Char is one of the greatest characters of all time. I really like Simone as a protagonist, right?
He's a great protagonist. We're not talking about protagonists. Simone is a 10 out of 10
We're talking about, and I think he's in the conversation, but I think Char dominates, right? If we're talking all-time greats, I was going to try to trip Tristan up by being does Major Kusanagi count? Because she pilots the Tachikomas at some points.
It depends on whether or not you want to consider a Tachikoma a mech. And it's one of those that feels like a technicality. They're not traditional mechs when you say to someone who is a mech pilot.
They're only not bipedal. That's the only real...
Well, and it's also...
by that standard...
It's also, here's the other thing. If you actually watch it, at no point in time can you actually tell when she is piloting it versus when she's just riding in it and the Tachikomas are moving themselves. You can't tell.
That's an interesting. That makes her not a very interesting pilot.
That's a good argument against it.
Is Osmosis Jones piloting Bill Murray? No, but there's an element where you could make, make the argument, right?
You can.
Yeah.
I like that argument.
Yeah.
Or the greatest mech pilot in non-anime media, Remy from Ratatouille.
That is true. That is a very good choice.
Piloting a meat suit.
Yeah, that's in the upper echelon for sure.
No, I just think it's Char. I want to see those other two, Tristan.
Yeah, man, if
compared to Char, you're still going to tell me this is more of a favorite rather than best, and I'm not going to disagree with that. So number 2, Asuka Langley Soyu.
So I was thinking she's pretty good.
Yeah, that's good.
I put in her full name specifically because I'm talking from the TV show, not from Rebuilds, because she has a different name in the Rebuilds, because she's a different character. But,
spoilers!
And then third, because I think he is absolutely amazing, is Roger Smith from Big O.
So this is just like stuff you like.
Yeah.
Like this is not like, I mean, I know the question was favorite, but like, this is like.
Who is your favorite mech pilot? That was the question.
Okay. Yeah, but
normally we have that argument of we're looking for the best and not favorite, but this time, this question.
So those are both valid choices, and like, I mean, Roger Smith is a pretty great character in general. I think
he's Batman.
Yeah, he's literally
he's Batman.
Literally, Batman is a mech pilot. Wait, don't they pilot a mech in Batman Ninja? Could therefore Joker and Batman actually not be valid answers?
I mean, if Batman or Joker are your favorite mech pilot,
yeah, you're boring, boring. That's like saying your favorite mech pilot is any of the Marvel characters because of that one spinoff where they all pilot a mech and they've got the terrible transformation animation where they all fuse together. Can I give my top three? Sure. I guess.
Yeah. What's your other two?
I also want to give a big shout out to Chibbity Crockett from Mobile Fighter G Gundam. I mean, all of the pilots in Mobile Fighter G Gundam are great.
G Gundam.
But only Chibbity Crockett rides around in a sports car with 4 hoes who also happen to be insanely talented mech support specialists.
I mean, Char could do that if he wanted
Char
to.
Could do that, except it would
he does
be guys.
A little bit sometimes.
He would only...
No, he's got like Lala going around.
He does have Lala, yeah, I guess. You know, I mean, Amuro's his one true love. We can all agree that Amuro's his...
one true love, I think there.
He has several true loves. You're right. Yeah. There's Garma, for example.
There's Garma, yeah, and Lala and Char. Like, who is his?
He's got a whole harem.
I think in his heart of hearts, his true love is Sayla, but that's a different story.
I thought his true love is like his Zaku or something,
or is the freedom of space? Yeah,
yeah. So what's your third?
My third,
it's just Char.
Yeah, it's just Char. It's just Char. Yeah. And frankly, I'm convinced now that Char should be first. I'm putting Char first. Simone. Yeah. You know, Miles, you made a good argument, and I'm honestly kicking myself. I was like Gurren, right? And I was too fixated on protagonists.
So here's the thing. If I had to do 2 and 3, I would have done completely different ones before this conversation. But when we're coming from the perspective of favorites, the real big qualification for me is who makes me feel the most, right? Like,
and it's Char.
Yeah, of course it's still Char. But like number 2 and 3 are now Noriko and Kamina. Like, so like we're like I'm on the same page as y'all. Like Noriko, again, I am a big movie defender, right? So I don't want to like hold Gunbuster's length against it. But Noriko as a pilot does express herself in such interesting character developy ways, and Noriko is one of the greats of all time. So like I'm happy. Like when I think of pilots, I mean I do think of like Macross too.
Yeah.
But there's not like one. I don't have a one favorite pilot from any of the Macross films.
I couldn't think of one. I couldn't think of one specific pilot from Macross. Like Macross as a franchise.
I'm surprised you didn't pick anyone from Pat Labor.
So here's the thing. Noah is a very good pilot. But the ensemble is what makes... And Clancy is such a good pilot. But the ensemble is what... And
honestly, I'd argue that Clancy's better out of a mech than in a mech.
I mean, almost...
As shown by Pat Labor Movie 1, where she takes a pistol to mechs while driving in a Jeep.
I will say in the TV show, right? Like, the way that they are all... like, and even Oda in Pat Labor is just such a fun pilot. I think that cast of Pat Labor, like, it is just truly a ensemble cast. And so, yeah, I'm obsessed with Noah. I love her dearly, but I love Clancy too. I love everyone in that series. Yeah. And so even picking one of them would feel kind of misrepresenting even what my favorite is Pat Labor.
Yeah, because even in this podcast, in our Pat Labor episode, I said that Kanika Clancy was best girl, and I would stand by that. But then also, to your point, Miles, I would agree that like if we're talking about like favorite mech pilot from Pat Labor, putting Clancy specifically above everyone just feels wrong.
Weird.
Yeah.
Can I throw out a sort of curveball? See,
okay.
So what are the characters you think would be the best mech pilot if they got to pilot a mech in their series? So characters who don't get to mech pilot, but are in a mecha series and would be good pilots if they got to.
Oh, that are in a mech series?
Or it
could
be not in a mech series, if you want to say not in a mech series.
Sugimoto from Golden Kamuy would be the greatest mech pilot of all time.
He would be so good.
Because that dude would come up with the craziest
I really got to read
and, like,
Golden Kamuy.
You really, really do. But like
watch,
the way
pick one.
The way
the
he fights is so absurd and clever and just a joy to watch. Him with that kind of power behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
That'd be great.
I was just going to say Luisu Sumisu from Bang Brave, Bang Braver, and if he got to pilot mech, would be the best mech pilot.
That'd be cool.
Tristan, do you have an answer? Or?
Not really.
That's okay.
Because I was trying to think of one, but then Sugimoto is just so much better than anything I can think of. I'm like, I can't think of something better than that.
I mean, like, I would tell you, I would watch 50 episodes of Jonathan Joestar piloting a mech.
Oh, yeah. If JoJo's
Jonathan Joestar, I would do Joseph.
Joseph Joestar.
I meant Joseph.
Yeah.
I'd watch 50 episodes of Jonathan too. To be fair.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Joseph,
but
Joseph
if we were to rank all of the JoJos, I actually think Joseph piloting a mech, Joseph in his prime,
piloting a mech.
See, the thing is, I said
Battle
it wrong.
Tendency Joseph,
yes. Correct.
Not Stardust Joseph, definitely not Diamond Joseph.
I'm just the fact that I said it and you guys knew who I was talking about, even though I said it wrong, says how good of a pilot Joseph would be.
He would be.
Yeah, Joseph. Yeah, man, I'm just like seeing it now. Like, gets in like a sword fight or something. He's like getting beaten down, and he's like, "Next, you'll say your defeat is at hand." And the guy's like, "What?" And then a missile hits him in the back of the head. That's.
And I know someone in the comments will pop in and it's like, "Oh, but what about Dio being in a mech?" And in my head, I'm just like, "That's just Char. That's just Char."
No, that's not even. That's not even Char. That's just like that's just the petty part of Char. That's specific. Man, Dio. I mean, Dio would be.
Dio in a mech would just be Char when he's at his most arrogant.
Oh no, it would be Char when he's. I mean, a little bit at his most arrogant, but mostly Char at his most obsessed with Amuro. Like, because Dio's entire motivation really is being a hater. Yeah. He's immortal. He's outlived Jonathan Joestar by 1,000 years.
Well, he's stolen his body, so technically,
but like that's part of it, right? His like entire motivation is to dominate Jonathan Joestar's body. It's just the homoerotic tension parts of Char's relationship with
Amuro Ray.
That literally as the entire character motivation for 100 years. And that's what's great about Dio.
Dio.
Dioda.
All right. I think it's time to move on to our main topic today. In October of 2010, Studio Gainax, most famous for Evangelion, which is a great anime we all love, but also famous for Royal Space Force: The Wings of Omianes, one of my favorites of all time.
And also
an anime.
Also famous for Maharomatic.
With you.
With me
produced an anime that a lot of people in America really liked, and it was called Panty Stocking with Garter Belt. It's by Hiroyuki Imaishi, and he did things like Gurren Lagann, Kill la Kill, Fully Coolly Alternative, and a lot of other things. He's kind of like a staple of Studio Trigger, and this was seen as the final Studio Gainax anime, though there still are more, and there's some good ones even after this, like the Subaru commercial, Wish Upon the Pleiades.
I was going to bring
every
that one
single
up.
chance I get, where all the magical girls, because it's sponsored by Subaru, the car company, all their brooms go vroom, 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 vroom when they're flying around. It's the greatest thing in the world.
And we also can't forget about all of the excellent footage that they produced for pachinko machines over the last 20 years.
Them and Konami.
this is considered like the last
true
Gainax.
The last
True Gainax anime, with a lot of the key staff who would basically, in the same way that Ano and his peers who founded the company were like student animators who just went legit. Then they brought in this, of over time built up a new generation of great talent who ended up moving off once the company was in a kind of a bad situation to make Studio Trigger. So a lot of people consider
and
this,
Studio Kara.
and Studio Kara.
Yeah.
A lot of people consider this like the first Trigger anime, and I don't think they're wrong to, though you could also call Gurren Lagann the first Trigger anime in that same vein.
Same kind of
sense and vibe. They're both embodiments of Imaishi's ethos when it comes to producing anime, which is like very bold visual, like very bold identity to the series that allows a lot of flexibility for each artist to put his own stamp on an individual episode.
And Panty Stocking is very unique.
Yeah, so
in animation and in anime.
The backstory for this anime is one of my favorites of any anime ever created. So the story goes, they were in America, I believe for Anime Expo, to promote Gurren Lagann, right? They had the Gurren Lagann core staff in America, in a hotel in America, and between their panels at this anime con, I'm not sure if it was AX, I'm pretty sure it was AX, but don't quote me on that. In the middle of these panels, they put on TV late at night. They just got back to their hotel, and what do they see on television? But the seminal
Invader Zim?
No. I mean,
should be Invader Zim.
Invader Zim was an inspiration, clearly.
Had to be.
No, what do they see on TV? The seminal mid-2000s Comedy Central animated classic, Drawn Together. So Drawn Together is a parody of Big Brother, The Real World, etc. It is a reality show starring cartoon characters from different genres. It is one of the most offensive TV shows ever made.
So what
does this have to do?
What is Panty Stocking about? I was about to say before you interrupted me, Geoff.
Right. So Hiroyuki Imaishi saw American cartoons, realized that you could just make something as offensive as humanly possible and put it on television, and he was like, I want to do that. And then he did. And that is the origin story of Panty Stocking with Garter Belt.
And so Panty Stocking with Garter Belt is about two fallen angels, Panty and Stocking, who are trying to earn credits, heaven coins, to get back into heaven by defeating a bunch of devils that are ghosts that are like incarnations of the devil, or like inspired by the devil to wreak havoc upon what is essentially America. No, specifically America. And this feels very like...
it's not specifically America, it's Japanifornia.
It's America and Greece is the flag. Like, and there's actually a lot of Greek weird references.
Well, no, they have they have the rising sun in where the stars on the flag, on the Dotton City flag.
I really took this as more just mostly America, but
I mean, I felt that it was very much like Sunnydale, honestly. I got a lot of Sunnydale vibes. I don't know if they gave a shit about Buffy the Vampire Slayer at all, but like that's the feeling that I got, because all of this crap just happens to happen around a place that also happens to have a gateway to hell. Like it just it fit. It was. I mean,
they were like, the thing is, they were drawing from every piece of American pop culture that they cared about. Like Invader Zim, there's clear Invader Zim.
Hey, Gur.
Yeah.
So much that the creator of Invader Zim is just like, well, I'm very glad that Gur found a new job, I guess.
I mean, the art style is very like Craig McCracken, like late 90s Cartoon Network style. Like
it would fit. Girls. It would fit on Cartoon Network far more than it would fit next to almost any other anime you put it next to.
Yeah. Except Scott Pilgrim Takes Off.
And the thing is, when we say anime, like we have this conception of anime, and I feel like anime in English used to, or at least has some connotation with the Japanese origin of the word. But in Japan, animation is animation. Like Shrek is just as much anime as Naruto for a lot of these creators. And that's very true for Imaishi, who is very, egalitarian about his love for animation. And so this is, some Space Ghost coast to coast style humor. This is potty humor. This is sex humor. This is everything you don't normally see in anime in the form of a 11-minute show with little title cards, very reminiscent of, again, what you would find on Cartoon Network.
Powerpuff Girls, Dexter's Lab, Invader Zim. It's like, it is a love letter to specifically the Adult Swim era, but all American cartoons, they have a Transformers episode, but mostly it is a love letter to the mid 2000s late night era of cartoons and the Saturday morning era simultaneously.
I mean, I think it's a love letter to the exact experience that all of us had as millennials.
Yes.
Where we grew up with the Craig McCracken and then transitioned into the adult anime stuff in the aughts and anime in the aughts. Yeah. And anime, specifically anime, because there is still a lot of anime. The characters sometimes look like the, Craig McCracken style things. That's kind of
they
like
mostly
default
do.
mode.
And then occasionally they look like hyper-styled anime when they're trying to be super sexy.
What I love about Imaishi and Panty and Stocking in general, which is that in addition to, again, they're trying to make this the most offensive cartoon they can. The first episode, they fight a literal pile of poop. Bunch
of shit.
It's like, it's gross out humor mixed with like, sexism, racism, homophobia, a running joke about Catholic priests raping little boys.
It is the Conker's Bad Fur Day of anime.
Yeah, it is the Conker's, but
and this is the coolest shit I've seen. I'm 12.
Yeah.
Is the like kind of underlying theme of the anime, and it holds up under those circumstances much better than the Conkers. But it is in that same vein, and I think it's because
fighting a big pile of poop. Conkers.
It comes from it comes from a place of like, to me, this is the Stranger Things of Adult Swim, where it's actually, in the same way that Stranger Things, to anyone who didn't grow up with the Goonies, is better than literally all of those 80s kids movies, except for maybe Stand By Me. It by emulating the best of and like bringing in all these different elements that we kind of come up with narratively. Seasons. Well, there's only one season of Stranger Things.
Correct.
Correct. In this, when I'm talking in this term, right? But Stranger Things season 1 is really this like amalgamation of everything you think was good about the 80s growing up films, just done like
all
synthesized perfectly. And this is that for that, like, again, the millennial cartoon childhood and millennial teenage years. It is the best version of those, such that it holds up better than a lot of the things it's referencing. It holds up better, even like racism, sexism aside. It is like the better version of all those.
Yeah,
yes, I agree.
I'm not even racism, sexism aside. I think it is better at being humorously offensive than most humorously offensive Adult Swim cartoons. It is.
When it comes to race stuff, I don't think so.
Okay. I mean, Garter Belt is a problem.
Garter Belt's, the biggest problem with Garter Belt is like the character design, which they changed for season 2 for a reason.
Yeah.
Having Chris Sabat in the dub do a black scent, which, by the way, if you want to watch Tristan do a black scent, watch his video on Panty and Stocking where he nails Chris Sabat doing.
Did I?
You nail it so good.
We talked about this beforehand. I didn't rewatch my video because I didn't want to, like, I wanted to see if I would have a different take on it now that it's been like a decade since I made that video.
You sound just like Sabat. It is crazy. Like, if I closed my eyes, I'd be like, and so like,
I don't even remember doing that at all. I don't doubt that I did it.
Here's the thing, like, on a degree of how problematic, it's like, the character design, I'm glad they changed that for season 2, right?
Like he was literally a gollywog in a priest robe before.
Yeah, it was not ideal. Like, it's not like, this is not necessarily good representation. So like when I say like them being racist, is they don't really do the racist thing like in a good way, I don't think. But also it's not as bad as other media from the same time period. And I know this is only 2010, but like I'm not willing to give this like a full pass, but also it's coming from a different cultural context and like where certain things were just a little more normalized. Like, it is better at presenting black characters than later media, but also Garter Belt does not act black in the Japanese.
like Garter Belt's
at all.
Garter Belt, like, Garter Belt looks like he's going to be like a running black joke, but then really he's a running Catholic priest joke. That's
which is a low-hanging fruit you're allowed to hit.
Yeah, and I like actually how they handle that joke a lot, because they do it so subtly. He's just like constantly like, "Hey, Brief, why don't you come out with me behind this building off screen?"
And then Brief honestly does not want to go.
Brief really does not want to go. But like, I
feel so bad for Brief.
Yeah.
Especially in the dub, because he's basically Jacuzzi Splot, and I love it.
So you're right. It doesn't do the race related comedy isn't handled well, which makes sense because they don't have the context to really do that. I mean, they had like their context is fully drawn together watching cartoons, whereas the sexist jokes, they can really dig into some real deep cut jokes about men and women. Yeah.
The thing is, the problem with some of their sexist jokes is that I have seen so much of the audience laugh, not like with the show, but like kind of like, oh, like this is still a thing to like, ooh, sexism is good and this is funny, right?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of an issue when you get into anything that's like, I think, fundamentally Panty and Stocking, while it is anti everything, it's not, it's very much make fun of everything, that like South Park ethos of nothing is sacred, right?
We don't care. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and so like
I was just gonna say it's got like actually surprisingly good female characters, and like it's got genuinely interesting things to say when you dig down past the basic offensive humor. The Little Tokyo episode being a prime example where that like really viciously skewers both Tokyo urban culture in general and then very specifically Tokyo office culture. And like, the you don't go home till your boss goes home, drinking as part of the company culture, all that stuff. The ghost of Tokyo being a giant vomit ghost is like definitely inspired by some walks they've had through downtown Shibuya at 3 a.m. There's real commentary and real like political and philosophical points being made in every episode. It's just buried in a lot of poop and boob jokes.
And so the interesting thing is they're like, again, even looking at the commentary from like 15 years ago when the show came out, and people were like criticizing Panty and Stocking for being sluts, and I'm like, you guys do not understand the show. They're angels for a reason. Like, as much as like they're like, again, whatever. I think it's important to mention all these things because it is part of the context of the show, and some people might want to skip this one for those sorts of reasons. But like, it's really entertaining and enjoyable as you go into it, and if you read just again one layer beneath what you see on the surface, you can see it's laughing with a lot of these characters, not at them. Mm-hmm. And when it's laughing at the characters, they deserve it, like Garter Belt being a pedophile, right?
When Panty gets made fun of, it's not because she's the biggest slut on earth. It's because she's a horrible person to her sister and the other people who care about her. When Stocking gets made fun of, it's not because she eats a lot and she's fat. I mean, there is the episode where she gets fat, but that is largely a demon thing. And man, that joke where it's just vomiting into her, like that whole gag where it's just spewing the cream into her mouth and she just keeps absorbing it. Very funny. But like, actually, she's not the butt of jokes that often.
No.
Yeah, because
which was Tristan, 10 years ago, Tristan's biggest problem with the show.
Yeah.
Which, Tristan, I want to ask, do you still feel the way you felt 10 years ago? You said that your biggest issue with the show is that you are a big Stocking dude.
I was.
Very big Stocking dude, and she's just not very central to the story.
I would still kind of agree with that. Like, the show is Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt. Most of the time we just ignore Garter Belt, even though he's in the title. But it is mostly like the Panty story. Like, even if you just look at the final 2 episodes of the show, it's the Panty show. It's her. She is the lead character.
Yeah,
well, there's very little stalking at all.
There's very little stalking. Anytime that the show has to decide between the two of them, it almost always goes Panty then stalking. Almost always.
Well, I mean, stalking gets kind of her episode a couple.
That's the thing. She gets episode.
I mean, the episode where she's in love with that ghost.
She has episodes.
Yeah,
I'm not saying she doesn't have episodes, but I feel like Panty gets more spotlight, both just solo time and then also when they are together, the spotlight is more on Panty than stalking.
Yeah, I guess Panty's the one who needs more of an arc because she's like stalking is still
closer to just getting right back up into heaven.
She's a lazy, horny piece of shit too, but like. At the end,
not to the same degree.
At the end of the day, she tries with the ghost hunting, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas, and you know, like she
sometimes
she puts in a minimal amount of effort. Yeah. She still thinks it's bullshit, right? And she says that openly quite a lot. But like at the end of the day, she's the kind of person who will do the bullshit that they have to just to get it done. Whereas Panty is the kind of person who will go to do the stuff and then find a hot guy in the crowd, take him out behind a dumpster for 20 minutes, and by the time she's done doing that, half the ghost fight's over. Plus, I do feel like the last couple episodes are still kind of about stalking in that they show...
really.
They show what Panty... They show what Panty goes through and who Panty is when she doesn't have stalking to back her up, right?
Yeah. But then how is that about
that's
stalking?
Still all about Panty. Yeah,
it's all about Panty. But it's about stalking in the same way that Scott Pilgrim Takes Off is about Scott Pilgrim. In the episodes where Scott Pilgrim has taken off.
Pochi's not on the screen.
Yeah.
Make sure every character's talking about Pochi. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stalking's presence, like Stalking's lack of impact on Panty is actually kind of a point, right? Like she can't do anything on her own, but also we've already established that from even like the first episode.
Yeah.
So like, I don't think that it's saying anything there. And I really do wish, and I found myself agreeing watching that Tristan video from 10 years ago, that like, for a show called Panty and Stocking, this is really the Panty show. Stocking has a lot of interesting things going on that we don't get to explore. And we don't actually need all the time we get with Panty. And it would have been nice to have a little more of a...
more balance,
A balance between them,
Because I think their interactions together are so much fun that I would have liked to see that. So like, I mean, is that enough?
Like there were times that I even feel like we get a lot more development with Scanny and Knee Socks than we do with Stalking.
Yeah.
Which is fun. I feel like they get enough for the position in the hierarchy that they are.
And who are Scanty and Knee Socks, Tristan?
Scanty and Knee Socks are two devils that are kind of like the mirror. They are the Wario and Waluigi to the Mario and Luigi of the Anarchy Sisters.
Yeah.
That is what they are. They are Scanty and Knee Socks. They're the devils. Great theme song. But I feel like they get enough spotlight, I feel, for who they are and what they're supposed to do. But even then, I feel like they get more than Stalking. Not to say that they deserved less. No, they got exactly where I wanted them to be as far as like development and screen time. But yeah,
like I do feel like they got about the same amount of development as Stalking, and that is a little disappointing to stay. Like
for a show called Panty and Stocking.
Yeah, Stalking kind of exists to support her sister. I really hope the second season that we're finally getting fleshes out Stalking. That could be like, or gives her more episodes of her own.
Is this where I can come in and talk about how I don't care about the new season of Panty and Stocking?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it. So this episode that we're doing right now of Quest for the Best, the podcast with Tristan, Miles, and Geoff, is about Panty and Stocking, the original, the 2010 series, which we never thought we were going to get a sequel to. And then the same year that we did Panty and Stocking season 2, they announced Spaceballs 2. And I just feel like something is going right in the universe.
Yeah.
To a point, yeah. So we can still sort of keep it, because the main reason why I don't give a care about second season of Panty and Stocking is because of something that exists within season 1. And that is season 1 of Panty and Stocking has, I would like to say unarguably, top 5 greatest dubs of all time. And that is largely because of the writing of Jamie Marchi, followed by the performances of Jamie Marchi and Monica Rial as Panty and Stocking, respectively. The new Panty and Stocking complete recast and not written in the same sort of way. It's one of those, it is a quote unquote faithful adaptation to the Japanese script. And in this particular case, I feel like that's the wrong way to go.
Yeah.
I like that Funimation, when they had it, they gave it to Jamie Marchi and she took it and rolled with it. And I feel like that did so much better for the show.
She made it more offensive, like even more offensive, I would argue.
Even more offensive.
And she rolled in some specific American pop culture stuff that I think enhances what Imaishi was going for. The extra layer of localization, I agree. It really helps with the Panty and Stocking dub. And I've listened to a little bit of the Amazon dub of season 2, and it's not as good. I think we can all agree it's not as good. The actors are still doing a good job. But
that's the thing. I don't want to put. Good. Well, I mean, here's the other thing. Like, I looked at the thing. I don't want to call out any individual person on the new Panty and Stocking and say they're doing a terrible job. Because here's the thing: the actors, they're just doing a job, and I think that they do reasonably well for what they are and who they're doing. But you're trying to compare it to the dub that already existed.
One of the top 5 dubs of all time. Yeah.
It was always going to be bad, regardless of who they casted, and I think they did a very good job. I feel bad for the ADR people on this, because if you look them up, they haven't done much prior to this. This is the first thing that they were handed, and I'm like, that's a bad hand. Mm-hmm. This should not have been handed to someone like that. I feel so bad for them. It's one of those, I believe they tried their best, but I will say that their best wasn't good enough in this particular case.
I mean, if you look at the consensus online, most fans vocally will say they want as close to the Japanese as possible. They don't want it to be a localization where you are saying, here's what they were going for, and we're going to adapt that. Yeah. That's certainly the case with the original dub, which I think quadrupled the number of swears.
Like with Black Lagoon, I think that was a good idea for the dub.
And that's kind of crazy because in Japanese, Panty says mother effer
all the time.
There's a lot of English swears in the Japanese dub already.
And but that's kind of the thing. A potty mouth in Japanese is someone who says every once in a while. In American, in English, right? Someone who's a potty mouth is someone who says every other word.
Yeah.
And so I think
I am so sorry, editor Tristan.
When I say localization, that's kind of to give the same vibe. If you just had Panty saying once every 11-minute episode, it wouldn't feel like she's, No, you would not actually get that trashy vibe from her. So it's really important to contextualize things like that. And so I agree. I actually am not as big of a fan of the original dub as you guys are. Top 5. The thing is, the performances are good and the script is good, but I prefer the original Japanese because I think the original voice actors for Panty and Stocking are just so iconic.
Can I step in? I agree with you. Panty and Stocking are really good in the dub. I'm not gonna fault that. But the way that the original Japanese plays with Gyaruisms and the whole gal culture, the way they talk, disrespectful Japanese is so fun to listen to. The thing about Japanese is you don't have to swear as much because you can be that anarchic and rude just by
without resulting to swears.
Just by changing your own, how you refer to yourself, how you refer to other people, going, koitsu, aitsu, instead of that person, they're very, very loose and rude with their language, and it's very fun to listen to. So I didn't have a problem going into the Amazon one because I just listened to the sub and I was like, oh, this is great. But Miles, sorry, continue your point.
No, but thank you, Geoff, because that's kind of what I was trying to get at, right? If you watch it in Japanese, they're not going to need to say fuck every word. So when I watch the new season, I'll probably enjoy it from that same perspective. But I do feel bad for Tristan and for the, dub enthusiasts on board, because it sounds like something's missing there that made this really special. And this was in, 2012 or whenever they did the dub, the nexus of the entire online Western anime community was this dub. And it was, again, a situation like Baccano, where everyone in the community kind of came together and agreed, this is what dub should be like. This is where this is the type of anime and the specific execution of where an English dub could be like
elevating the material.
Elevating the material. Yeah, exactly. So I feel bad about that for season 2. When I was rewatching for this episode, I went back and forth between the dub and sub, and I liked both. But I generally like things in their original language. However,
generally I am too. This is like one of the very specific exceptions where I don't immediately go to sub, which is like 90% of the time I do. 90% of the time, any anime I watch is sub. This is just one of the very few exceptions. And that's why I'm disappointed that the exception does not continue into season 2 and beyond.
It is a big shame. I will say, Trigger, their side of carrying on the legacy of the last season, they nailed it. Absolutely 100%. Like
I don't believe from like the Japanese perspective. So like if you did watch sub and you didn't give a care about the dub, I feel like season 2 is going to be amazing for you.
Yeah. It feels like a perfect continuation of how the last season ended with the...
I have a comment.
Oh, yeah.
Continue.
You feel like they retconned something, I feel like, a little bit.
More of a... Okay.
Or they copped out of that final twist.
So...
But I actually... Okay, we're going to have to get into spoiler territory now.
Whatever. So... A Gainax ending, which needs to be explained beforehand because it's an actual term, is generally speaking when at the last minute, a story presented by Gainax, though you can have it, though other places have done a Gainax ending, have just decided, nah, screw it. Whatever you thought was going to happen, we're just going to throw random bullshit at the wall and that's the ending now. That is a Gainax ending. So in Panty Stocking, the show ends, the credits roll, everyone thinks it's fine and over, and then in a post-credit scene, they're just walking back to their church, and then Stocking decides to cut up Panty into a billion different pieces.
666.
She's a demon now.
666
pieces. She says, I'm just a demon now, cuts her up, and then they walk off, and then that's the end of the show. And that's all we got for 15 years. That was the end of the show.
I love Imaishi. Like, the thing is, that feels like Gainax making fun of itself to a certain extent.
So because of that, like, that was like the intro. The whole point to that leads into
Paramount.
season 2. The ending is Paramount, which kind of ruined it for me for a very long time. I came to terms with it. And I do enjoy it now. It took me a long time to get there, but I do enjoy it now. The thing that I found hilarious is that in watching episode 1 of season 2, that ending felt like a noose. Because once you get to season 2, they're like, okay, well, we can't just ignore that. All of episode 1 just feels like okay, no, this has to be this way because we did this thing 15 years ago where we were just shooting the shit. And now we have to actually respond to that. And that's what episode 1 felt like.
So I actually feel like, I think that the plan all along was for the Panty or the Stocking is a demon thing to be the fake out that they have when they finally get into season 2, which, sorry, Miles, we're going to have to spoil episode 1 of season 2 for you. So the reveal is that Corset, the demon,
the big bad from
the end of the last season, he stuck a mini version of himself inside inside Stocking's ear. I said panting. Inside Stocking's ear. That's just whispering, "You're a demon. You're a demon. You're a demon. You're a demon." And that is all it took
subliminal messaging
to brainwash her into murdering her sister. And like,
she didn't need much. Yeah,
really did not need much to begin with. And like, it's stupid. But
it is exceptionally stupid when you think of like the narrative. It's like, if he could do that, why the frick didn't he just not do that earlier?
Because he hadn't been blown up into tiny little bits yet and hadn't.
So he doesn't have this stupidly overpowered ability when he's actually at full power?
No, he
could have just mind controlled the Anarchy Sisters before they blew up all of his crap?
No, okay, one, he can't just mind control the Anarchy Sisters because, as we see, Stocking, as soon as she turns into a demon, immediately goes out of control and just starts eating buildings that she thinks are candy. Which is such a great joke. I love her.
Honestly,
I love her demon design too.
That's great. But had Corset done that to them, during the finale, like that would have been a distraction enough. Who cares about Dot and City? He would have been that they would have been out of his hair, so then he could finish unlocking the gate to hell. He would have been fine.
But the thing is, he wouldn't have been fine because God's sexy garter belt legs would have
their mom
would have
that was their mom.
Yeah, God. God is a dominatrix in the Panty and Stocking universe,
which makes you wonder why they're fallen angels to begin with.
And not just a dominatrix, but a real flesh and blood in this cartoon world dominatrix who steps down out of the clouds and
she steps.
Yeah, literally stomps the giant demon dick that he's trying to do. Is the last episode of Panty and Stocking a parody of the end of Fullmetal Alchemist? No, the timing doesn't make sense, but it
doesn't.
It is literally the same ending as FMA Brotherhood, just with a giant dick reaching up to, and then she stomps it down, only using her feet the entire time. Stomps the Quentin Tarantino's favorite anime.
Would
right
love
here.
this, yeah.
But God still probably would have stopped him in that scenario. But the other thing is, like, okay, maybe he didn't plan it, but it doesn't make sense for Stocking to have been a demon all along. It just doesn't make sense. Her suddenly being mind controlled is the only way that the ending actually does make sense.
Or they could have just retconned it, and that would.
Or they could have just retconned it, or just said, that was a joke, or that was on TV, or something stupid like that.
I like that they commit to the quest where they have to go pick up all 666 pieces of Panty. And it leads to that great joke in the new episode where Panty is brought back, but they missed
one piece.
The one piece, which is the most important piece of Panty. And if you think about it, you immediately know what piece is missing. And like, I can't believe they put that on television just right there. Just the entire gash right there on screen. Massive, filling the entire screen. But like, man, they did not.
So that's season 2.
That's season 2.
On the point of season 1, one of the things that, again, 10 years ago, Tristan and I really agree on is this is one of the greatest soundtracks of the decade.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes. And another mark against season 2. Another mark of season 2. This very much feels to me like when Netflix came on and would be like, hey, we got Yoko Kanno to do music for New Bebop. Everything that I've read about Teddy Lloyd for the new series is just, hey, they got him on so that they could use all of his music from season 1, and he's making one track for the new series. And that one track is just a remix of Fly Away and the theme of Scanny and Knee Socks combined into one thing. It's not even a new track. Anyway, your point. Music's amazing.
No, I mean, that's it. So they brought on Teddy Lloyd to help with the music. And I mean, the opening and ending are great too, but the soundtrack and the incidentals and the like insert songs, all bang so hard. This was the soundtrack of my 20s, right?
Ironically,
how old was he when he did it, Miles? Do you know?
He was 20 as well. Yeah,
he was 21 when Panty and Stocking came out.
Yeah. I wish Teddy Lloyd was making even more music for the sequel, but like the music that they already have is perfect for 99% of what they need, right? You know?
Yeah, they're just going to reuse it, which I mean is fine.
And watching, like, so music is one of the best ways to like trigger memories and like all that stuff, right? Like
trigger memories.
And watching this again for the pod was like, oh my God, going back in time 15 years. And like, I watched this, I think 2 or 3 times because watched it with my anime club, watched it at home once the dub came out, like rewatched episodes randomly on some nights when we had friends over. Like it was really transported me back to that time. And so like, again, I don't really want to give credit to things that have like a nostalgia factor for the purpose of our list. But boy, do I have like a lot of good memories associated with the music here, the specific episodes. Like even the most throwaway episode, like resonates really strongly with me because I remember it so deeply. I also wasn't watching hundreds of anime a year. At the time this came out, I was watching dozens. And so like, this was every episode was so visceral to me. And rewatching it's like I almost didn't need to rewatch it because it was imprinted in my memory so deeply.
I mean, each episode does really like a very good job of creating its own identity. I really like that there's only 26 half-length episodes. It's like the perfect amount and the perfect amount of time for each one to be like distinct.
Watching it in that format really makes me feel like I miss that style, because when you take the episode and you're essentially giving the 23 some odd minutes plus opening and endings, and you're cutting it in half so that they're like 10 or 11 minutes long, and it's like you're really forcing yourself to really squeeze down your narrative and what you want to tell into those minutes. And I think that restriction refines stories a lot better than just the traditional having it 20 some odd minutes, because you cut so much of the fat and it makes them better, to the point where I kept forgetting while rewatching episodes that they were only half length. So you get to the end and then the next one starts and I'm like, oh, right, no, there's another one. Because we're only halfway through the episode. But it felt like it was a full episode. And I don't think that.
Very many other creators could do that, though. Like, I think it's the specific trigger, like brain trust who could make these. And I call it the trigger brain trust because that's fundamentally what it is. But like, they're the only ones who can make 11-minute episodes that I know of that feel like 11 minutes, other than like Steven Hillenburg era SpongeBob.
Yeah,
right?
No, it's
some Adventure Time.
Steven Hillenburg era.
I mean,
I would say
example,
Gendy. Gendy at the peak of Dexter's Lab. Dexter's Lab's really good at those half-length stories.
I mean, there's some like there's maybe half a dozen. There's like maybe 30 episodes of Adventure Time that feel like full impactful stories in 11 minutes.
I mean,
right?
When we were doing the episode on Freerin, we talked about how a lot of those episodes, despite being 20 minutes long, kind of felt like two. They just didn't have the clear distinction episode cut like Panty Stocking.
Well,
like
I mean,
old McCracken videos.
Freerin has that, and to a lesser extent, Dungeon Meshi does too. And you just that style of narrative ends up showing in anime adaptations of manga a lot, just because the length of a weekly manga chapter roughly equates to half of an anime episode. If you're pacing it out and trying to like condense it properly, it works out that way. I do think that there are masters of this style in North America. I'd point to Phineas. Wait, is Phineas and Ferb?
Phineas and Ferb?
Those are full 22-minute episodes, right? So yeah, Phineas and Ferb. No, but
they probably could have, though.
Yeah, Phineas and Ferb could have. I feel like Phineas and Ferb could have, but having the full 22 minutes and like allowing the formula to live within those full 22 minutes really works for that. Is Gumball? Gumball's half-length episodes, right? I believe.
That I don't remember. I haven't watched a lot of Gumball.
I haven't watched a lot of Gumball. But like, I feel like
I know Gumball more by the memes than the show.
I know it by its reputation, and I know that Gumball is one of the most well-loved and experimental of this style of cartoon. And I feel like Panty and Stocking easily fits into the upper echelons of that. And part of the reason for that is I think that it's only 13 episodes, but it was Imaishi kind of condensing his entire life of watching American cartoons and
into 13 episodes.
I mean, it's one of the, like, it is a better Transformers parody than literally any episode of Robot Chicken. And there's some pretty good Transformers parodies in Robot Chicken. I'm just
to your point, Geoff. To your point, Geoff, though, like, this almost feels like a best of Looney Tunes, right? Where it's like, there's no misses. I don't think there's a bad episode here, which is crazy when you think of 11-minute episodes are very easy to miss on.
Yeah.
And you don't, like, as long as you get one episode in the half-hour block correct, like,
you're still winning, yeah.
It's okay, right? You can have a weaker episode, but there really aren't any letdown episodes, and so many of the episodes feed into each other, even if the stories aren't directly connected. There's like a A-side, B-side feel to each block, which is
so creative. I love it. I can't believe it. I don't actually, thinking about all those other shows, most of them cannot do that.
Yeah.
Unless they do a two-parter or whatever.
And I'm slightly disappointed. This is probably going to be dated because of how far back we are. But episode 1 of season 2 is a full 20-minute episode.
But that's justified because it's following up it's following up essentially a 40-minute two-parter. Or no, actually not 40-minute, 30-minute, because the first half of episode 12 is just kind of a recap setting up the next three episodes of Panty and Stocking. The reason that I think it really doesn't make sense for Stocking to have been a demon all along, apart from the plots of all of the other episodes where she is like actively opposing the forces of hell all the time.
And was literally just up in heaven because she got all the coins she needed.
One of the most interesting things, I think, philosophically, thematically about Panty and Stocking is that it inverts the typical Christian moral framework where the demons are a bunch of conservative fuddy-duddies who hate fun, hate sex, even though they have a lot of kinky sex themselves behind the scenes. But like publicly, they're all about wear uniforms, obey the rules. You have to like fall into this rigid authoritarian framework. You know, Corset's whole goal is take over the world. He is the mayor. And like the Anarchy Sisters and Garter Belt are all about like freaky free love and literal anarchy. It's like built into their names. But like, and you know, indulgence in gluttony and lust and all of these other things. And like,
Big Jesus was a hippie who was friends with prostitutes and homeless people in energy, right?
It's
Buddy Christ.
Big Jesus was a 500-foot tall dommy mommy. It's just such a fascinating inversion of the typical American moral framework that all cartoons operate under, where like, having lots of sex, eating lots of candy and just enjoying yourself is not framed as like a moral failing or anything, and is in fact, literally
angelic behavior.
Literally angelic behavior, and literally the source of Panty's angelic powers is her lack of virginity.
Mm-hmm.
When you,
which is so funny. That's such a great like final episode. Like, yeah,
like as a finale, the fact that the whole final episode is just her rushing without her powers to jump on Brief's dick. That's like literally the whole plot thread is just she's got to get a dick inside her to get her powers back is so, and
the fact that in that last episode they reveal, hey, you're doing the Eddie McDowd thing. You need to get 100 good deeds. No, I need to get 1,000 good dicks.
I get 1,000 good dicks. And then they reset her at 999, which, actually, like,
there's some weirdness to that, by the way. Like, oh, your hymen's back. It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except it's a bad thing, right? That's the only thing that kind of saves that. But, also, for how much they, like, Brief is a creep, right? That's like the joke with his character. He's like literally stalking them. And like several of the times that it is implied that Garter Belt may have raped him, that is like sort of a punishment for him being a creep within the narrative of the episode. Right. But because everybody's a bit horrible in Panty and Stocking, when it comes around, his relationship with Panty, when it finally like pays off, actually has some like emotional heft to it. I was like, you end up cheering for them to get together, which is a very funny feeling when at the start when at the start of the story you're like, get away from these girls, dude. What are you doing?
So my dear Canadian friends, the three of us agreed that Cromartie High School was the funniest anime.
Mm-hmm.
Like as a pure comedy. Yeah. As a pure comedy, do we think this is funnier?
Yes.
Do we want to replace that? Or do we want to
I would put this higher.
I'm not asking higher. I'm not asking higher yet.
Oh.
I'm saying, is it just from a comedy perspective? Because we put Konosuba higher than Cromartie, but we didn't say it was funny. We said it was about the same funniness, right? Or thereabouts. But we like
here's the thing.
more for everything else it's got.
I do appreciate Cromartie because as much as I do love the crass humor, I do feel like crass humor at times feels like a cheap shot because it's just funny. Swearing is funny. I love swearing, but it...
Yeah, I mean,
I think comedy without swearing, I feel like is a bit more of an achievement.
Mm-hmm. I think back to the funniest moment of Magical Shopping Arcade of Benobashi, which is objectively the hot dog cart guy. Where
watch that one.
It's a hard watch, to be fair. There's a lot of Abenobashi that's not good, but it peaks very well.
Yeah, Abenobashi's peaks are some of the best stuff that Gainax has ever done. And
yes.
Abenobashi's...
It just has some really low
valleys are some of the worst stuff that Gainax has ever done.
Yeah.
It's the most Gainax anime, maybe, of all the Gainax anime. And it's got a Monty Python... like an extended Monty Python joke in the episode making fun of America, which is
Panty Stocking has references galore. Like every episode is, Tarantino level. We're gonna just riff off this, or almost every episode is just American thing. Now we're gonna do it slightly anime.
I mean, every episode title card is like. I mean, one of the greatest Cartoon Network title cards of all time. But it's a reference to something. And most of the time, the episode is actually like riffing on that piece of American pop culture. In
an interesting way.
Yeah, the only one where that's not true is the Chuck to the Future trilogy. Like, I don't understand how that has anything to do with Back to the Future or even time travel. But I love the Chuck to the Future trilogy as a fan of goofy, violent chase cartoons. The Chuck to the Future trilogy is like the platonic ideal of a Itchy and Scratchy episode.
Every single, but I mean, when we talk about like the level of depth here, the episodes do get into it, but each title card looks like it could have been a t-shirt that I saw on someone wearing in 2010 that they got really excited and spent $25 to order it online.
I would buy
like a Yeti.
All of these and put them on my t-shirt. Every single one.
The episodes go in a little bit more depth and don't feel as shallow as those title cards. I think the title cards, while being like a little like surface level, reference humor, are still extremely well executed. And that's kind of the thing is, if you tell someone this anime is literally the I'm 12 and this is the coolest shit I've ever seen in my life, the anime, but it's executed so well that even, in my mid 30s, I'm like, I'm 35 and this is the coolest shit I've ever seen in my life.
I would say Panty and Stocking is I'm 12 and this is the funniest shit I've seen in my life. And Gurren Lagann is I'm 12 and this is the coolest shit I've seen in my life.
Kill a Kill.
Kill a Kill is I'm 12 and this is the sexiest shit I've seen in my life.
So actually, this is why I don't actually think this goes very high on the list. I don't think this is going to make the list at all, because from a comedy perspective, Tristan, you think this is above Cromartie as a comedy or no?
Probably.
Just purely
not
as a comedy?
very high. Not not a lot higher.
They both do things well. I think they're about equal.
But they're different.
Yeah, so
purely as a comedy, we're all around Cromartie level. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I'm pretty close to that. I would put it below, but like also it does have more. So where does this land on the list? Is this on the list? Do we want to put, like, if we're saying this around Cromartie level just for comedy, it's certainly above Cromartie then for the two of you guys.
Yeah, for like the action, the animation, the overall. Yeah, and I would pretty comfortably put it above Cromartie. Yeah.
Would you put it, Geoff, above Konosuba?
No.
That was quick. Why not?
I think Konosuba tells a much stronger story. I like its characters more, and I find their relationships more interesting. I think it does a better job of balancing its characters and giving each of them like something meaningful to do, which is also a benefit of having multiple seasons, right? Like at first, it's very much the Kazuma and Aqua variety hour, and then it kind of morphs into... Actually, no, I'd say the first season of Konosuba does a really good job of balancing Yeah. And then it just kind of expands out from there.
I do find it funny that for Panty Stocking, we're basically judging it on season 1. And when we did Konosuba, I started off by saying I'd put it on the list, but only season 1.
So here's my biggest problem is that I love Panty Stocking, but it walked so Inferno Cop could run, so Space Patrol Luluco could run, so Ninja Slayer from animation could run.
So Sex and Violence with max speed could run.
So Sex and Violence with max speed could run, because I like all of those trigger projects significantly more.
Yeah.
I don't, though. For you, that's fine. But for me, I don't.
To me, like, I love Panty Stocking. I think it's great. I, right now, would put it below everything we've watched on our list so far.
Everything?
Well, I'll put above Pompo maybe, but like,
what about Cleopatra?
I think Cleopatra should be top 15 or 20 of
okay, that's
of the list. So like,
this is Miles. That's understandable. Yeah.
Would
you put this below Golden Boy, Miles?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I like Golden Boy more than this. The thing is, the sum of the parts is great. The other problem is, if we're talking pure comedy, I think Cromarty's much funnier.
Okay.
I think Konosuba's much funnier. I think Golden Boy's much funnier, and funnier with the crass humor. Like, Golden Boy does the crass humor so much better to me, because to me, this is like the I'm 12 and this is the funniest shit in my life thing, like, is literally the extent of a lot of the comedy, which is fine. Like, the poop jokes are not all that inventive, whereas in Golden Boy, if there's a poop joke, it's going to be there's going to be way too much buildup for it, right? Like, Golden Boy will be more clever about how it does its sex jokes and its poop jokes and all that stuff. Is there poop jokes? The point, you get my point.
There's no
right?
poop jokes.
There's toilet jokes.
Yeah, there are toilet jokes.
Yeah. That's kind of what I mean. But like, think of like the first toilet joke from episode 1 of Golden Boy. It's funnier than any of the poop jokes in Panty Stocking, to me.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. So, and so like, what does this have? Well, it's got fun characters. It's got the cool character designs. It's got the changing animation styles. It's got the really fun. It's very zany and fun to watch. And it's got those tight 11 minutes that really all pay off.
And it's got very interesting commentary, I think, on Japanese and American culture and the intersection of Japanese and American culture.
It's got, but the thing is, I think when you say very interesting, I think it's just kind of interesting and enough to justify its crassness.
Well, I mean, it's as interesting as you can get in 11 minutes. Most of the time, I would say.
Sure. But I mean, but like Luluco, I felt like I cried during Luluco, right? Like, Luluco really resonated with me emotionally a lot more, and its funnier moments were funnier. Inferno Cop, I literally, those 2-minute episodes, I think about them and I will laugh out loud. I'll just be walking along the street like a crazy person and start laughing because I remember I'm immune to bullets. So am I. Ah! And like, one thing that's great. See?
Yeah.
One thing that I love in Panty Stocking is like the tokusatsu style explosions whenever they defeat anyone. And I just feel like, again, like Trigger kind of did this again and better in Kill la Kill and stuff. Like, why would I watch Panty Stocking when I could watch Kill la Kill, which is funnier, better animated, and has so much more heart and interest? And I love the characters. Like just even thinking of Kill la Kill, which to me is, a contender for top 100, but I don't think it's on my rough list, right? But like,
I don't know if it's on any of our rough
I mean,
lists.
if I'm ranking Imaishi stuff, for me it goes Gurren, Cyberpunk. I like Panty Stocking more than Kill la Kill, I think, but that's close.
Crazy to me. That's actually crazy to me.
I haven't watched Kill la Kill in a really long time, to be fair. But at the time that I watched Kill la Kill, and I think a lot of people's general emotional reaction to Kill la Kill was like, I've already seen Gurren, But like, I feel like if I go back now, I'd probably like Kill la Kill more. But
you would definitely 100,000%.
Probably.
Yeah.
So, looking at the list and listening to what everybody's thoughts on it, Miles would put it under Golden Boy, Geoff would put it under Konosuba, and I would probably put it under Bloodlust.
Oh, you like it that much?
Yeah.
Wait, you like this more than Konosuba?
Not too much. Not too much more. Yeah. Not like it's only 2 spaces higher because it's Konosuba. Above that is Royal Space Force. And then that's where I would put Panty and Stocking.
No, I don't, but you like it more than Konosuba. It's kind of crazy to me. Geoff,
did you listen to any of my thoughts on Konosuba during our Konosuba episode?
I know, but the highs of Konosuba are so high. And there's not...
But the highs of Panty and Stocking are...
What's the high of Panty and Stocking? The best part of Panty and Stocking is sitting down and getting 11 minutes of like, that was fun.
Well, no, I mean, it's not
What's
just...
the one best episode?
That's the thing. There's not one best episode because so many of the episodes are so good. And it comes out with banger episodes right out of the gate. Like,
sure.
Sex in the Dotton City, immediately is a contender for best episode of the series. And like, there, I would say every episode has one of its 2 segments in that conversation.
Trying to combine all of ours to figure out like a good midpoint. The question then kind of becomes, does this go just above or just below Project A-ko? Because that's where A-ko is on the list.
Well, no. So you guys are both above Cromartie, which again to me is a little crazy. But like Golden Boy, like Geoff, you like this more than Golden Boy? Do you professional Golden Boy fan?
It's tricky, right? I feel like personally I like Golden Boy more just because of the combination of the animation, the like, I really like Kentaro as a character. I like how the OVA, the longer OVA format lets them dive in more to the specifics of each story. But the flip side is, we've kind of been dancing around this. I think that Panty and Stocking is probably in sum total and, averaging out the quality of all the episodes, the greatest expression of the 11-minute cartoon format ever produced. There's a lot of 11-minute chunks of Panty and Stocking that feel fundamentally perfect, whereas Golden Boy, overall, I really like the vibe. But like,
have you seen Ninja Slayer from animation?
Ninja Slayer from animation. Is that
the Trigger one?
Yeah, the Trigger one. I don't think I watched too much of that one. No,
I'd put that in that category. I think they're like 14-minute episodes, but it's the same.
Are they 14? I thought it was like 3 minutes. I guess I really haven't watched it because I thought it was like Inferno Cop length.
And then Luluco, I think, also does the 11 minutes better, personally.
Like Luluco, I feel tells a more contiguous story. Like there's continuity from episode to episode, which I feel fundamentally changes the formula, right?
Sure.
Okay.
But what you're saying, I don't disagree with. Like, this is, in terms of self-contained 11 minutes, this show is, among the best of the best. I don't think that makes it one of the 100 best anime of all time. And I don't think there's a good argument that it should be, even though it is a marvel and it's great. And I think it's highly recommended. It's a top tier anime, like an S tier comedy anime, right? S tier 11-minute episode animation, worldwide context. It's all these things, but I just can't imagine it talking about it in the same breath. It's like, well, I mean, even compared to Golden Boy, which again does the same type of thing of like the extreme.
We were also pretty confident that Golden Boy's not going to make it in the top 100 either.
Right.
Well, no, we have our carve out for spot 69.
We hope that it's spot 69.
You have a hope.
I have my.
But like, I don't imagine a world, and like, I don't think our list is not going to say only like 10 Imaishi things can make the list. There may be 10 things from the same director, and that would not be the worst thing in the world to me, right? But at the same time,
as long as it's Oshi.
Yeah.
Well, no, there are several creators who fit that category. Like, is there a single cone thing that's not going to make the list? Maybe, but there's a good argument for each one of them. Everything he's got his name on.
I only know one cone project that's not going to make the list.
Like, I think if you were doing a top 10 anime movies of all time, like just the top 10, there's still a pretty reasonable case that every Satoshi Kon movie gets in there. You know, like
there's an argument for that, right?
Yeah.
So like again, I'm not saying that Kill la Kill's existence or Luluko's existence or even Ninja Slayer, which is not generally as accepted as being as good. Those things are giving me the context to say this is very low, and like the way you talk about Project Echo, Geoff, and the way you talk about this are very different. And Tristan,
I would put Echo over it if we're like having a decision of where it goes under Echo for sure.
Tristan, the way you talked about Cromartie and even Golden Boy, I thought from my remembrance, you like those better as comedies than the way you talk about Panty and Stocking.
Panty and Stocking. I mean, largely my rallying for Panty and Stocking does come down to the dub and the adaptation of it. If we were talking purely on the sub of Panty and Stocking and all of that, it would probably be a lot lower. And it's one of the reasons why I don't think I'm going to enjoy season 2 anywhere near as much, is because that adaptation and that localization of the material is what elevates it for me. So because of that, that's why I would have it higher than Cromartie, why I would put it higher than Golden Boy. Personally. So if you remove that, then yeah, it can go under.
Well, no, for the purposes of today, though, I think we should probably keep it around the Cromartie level. So Vampire Hunter, Deep Bloodlust, Royal Space Force, Konosuba, Project Echo. Then we can put it next, but then it's Cromartie and Golden Boy, and I think we keep it in that neighborhood.
Yeah, that's the neighborhood. It's just a matter of where.
Man, I'm like, here's the thing, right?
We can move things around.
Cromartie is also perfect 11-minute episodes, right? Or, I mean, except sometimes Cromartie breaks it up even further. And
sometimes it does. I'd still put
Stocking
from an 11-minute episode perspective, I'd still put Panty over Cromartie.
I mean,
even I would. So I think I like Cromartie more, right? But like as a piece of 11-minute storytelling, if that's the one nexus we
metric
care about
that we're using,
then Panty and Stocking is a better using that 11 minutes.
I think it depends on the 11 minutes we're talking about, right? Because there are some 11 minutes of Cromartie High School that I think exceed basically anything in Panty and Stocking, like the fancy girls' school episode of Cromartie High School, the humming episode of Cromartie High School, Baikazawa, the pilot.
Geoff, think about this, right? All of these things, I'm like giggling, you're giggling, even Tristan's giggling at just the mention of the episodes, and I never do that with Panty and Stocking.
Yeah, I mean,
just thinking about it makes me giggle.
How I would describe that is that I think Cromartie has higher peaks than Panty and Stocking, but I feel like Panty and Stocking at baseline.
Panty and Stocking is really consistent. It's and like, yeah, if I'm thinking about episodes that just make me chuckle just thinking about the premise, I don't know if there's any.
No, there's not any. That's the point.
Like Sex in the Datin City, I guess. Because that one has like,
it's the execution that's good. It's not the concept.
I feel like for most of those, watching them is more enjoyable than remembering them.
Because this is a really good signifier. Geoff did not try and synopsize a single episode today. He did not try and explain any joke. Remember this joke?
Yes, he did.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the ending.
But that's
the ending
different.
we also did, but he also went on a bit of a rant for the Chuck to the Future.
But my point is, other comedy.
I didn't summarize Chuck to the Future because there's nothing to summarize. I just said it's a great top tier chase cartoon.
I'm just saying that Geoff has, for every other comedy, said, "Do you remember the joke where they did this, this, and this?" And then we would both laugh because it was fun, because it's a funny joke. And Geoff was like, I just need to share this joke. And there's not that same level of jokes in this. And as a comedy, first and foremost, like, that's to me a pretty damning sign.
Yeah, I think
that's a fair argument.
You're making a really good argument there. I'm
full of them.
the panty race episode where they're pulling panties off of different people and then they pull briefs off and they turn into the biggest gun is the closest that it gets to like a really clever joke of like, here's this rule that we are setting up that we're adhering to, and the humor comes from all the clever ways that they riff on it. And there's so many of those in Cromartie High School. There's so many of those in Golden Boy. And yeah, Panty and Stocking really doesn't have that.
But then I would also argue that the types of shows that we were saying that this compares very favorably to, the Dexter's Lab, the Johnny Bravo, I would feel like they're kind of the same way.
Yeah, that's why
I like
not on
them
the list either.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, even though this is an anime list, so Dexter's Lab is viable.
No, but I mean, like, this is why, like, I don't go back and look at those cartoons and say, and this is when I made the Stranger Things comparison, like, other than Stand By Me, what other 80s growing up films
And
are good minus nostalgia?
Yeah, and you know,
the answer, Goonies is a nostalgia answer, I'm pretty sure, for both of us.
It's not.
No,
Goonies is a legitimate
Goonies is a good movie. Goonies really does hold up.
I can't separate the nostalgia.
But
no,
yeah,
I have no idea if
Goonies has those moments that you're like, hey, do you remember?
Yeah.
I need to rewatch Goonies. The boys
do.
are old enough, I think.
Yeah, no, that's...
Oh, yeah.
Then he is, yeah.
Yeah, no. Aren't they making a Goonies 2 now, finally, or something?
I hope not.
Yes, they are.
Ugh. But I mean, here's the thing: we don't feel that way about Panty and Stocking. I'm on board for new Panty and Stocking, but like,
I mean, I think it's damning I haven't watched it yet.
But the more that we're talking about this, the more I'm like, my specific theory of comedy as like a game. I think SpongeBob does it better in 11 minutes. Like early Hillenburg SpongeBob is
that's
really,
what I said. Yeah, it's in that same tier.
And
of the first 3 seasons.
I would say that Panty and Stocking is a little bit below Hillenburg SpongeBob, which
I would agree.
Yeah. I would say it's infinitely higher than Fairly Odd Parents.
Oh yeah,
literally anything else from that era. So
Jimmy Neutron's really good.
No, it's not.
No, some episodes of Jimmy Neutron are really good. Maybe I'm being. I just watched the movie. I watched the movie recently, and the movie's really good. But
no, I'm not. I'm not
the movie and the show are two very different things.
Jimmy Neutron has its positives.
Yeah,
even Fairly Odd Parents has good episodes, but it's not like
consistently laugh out loud.
Well, no, it's not. There's not even like those 11-minute. There's not an individual episode of any of those shows, either of those shows you can point to, that meet the like middle tier episode of first 3 seasons.
But like with SpongeBob, I can say the hash slinging slasher, Krusty Krab is unfair. That's not art. This, there's so many episodes of SpongeBob where like it'll just set up a really funny gag and run with it for the entire episode.
And yeah, like Golden Era Looney Tunes, same thing. So like so this is where I'm like, all right, yes, Panty and Stocking is in that pantheon. I'm down. But for me, so is Cromartie, and I would never put this above Cromartie, and I'm going to argue right now that we put it below Golden Boy.
Yeah,
if both of you say to put it under Golden Boy, it's under Golden Boy.
I'm
you sure?
I'm inclined. Yeah, I mean,
I'm not one to like. If both of you are saying to put it under Golden Boy, as high as I would like to put it, this will be me like again dealing that free runs in 6th right now. I'll take it. I'll take the L.
I mean,
you know what? Here, let's do some horse trading. Well, I agree to move Free Run up to 5th place ahead of Princess Mononoke if we put it below Golden Boy.
That's a fair deal. Yeah. The only reason I'd say maybe put it ahead of Golden Boy or Cromartie is because, like, as an expression of Imaishi's love for animation in all of its forms, I do think that there are some parts of Panty and Stocking that are more peak Imaishi than Gurren or Kill la Kill or anything else that he's done. In terms of just, I love animation so much, I want to cram every cartoon that I love into one cartoon. and I
mean,
want to experiment with.
I kind of put Panty and Stocking in like the mid tier of Ime Ishi, because I think I would put, ultimately when we start talking about them, I think that I would put both Gurren and Kill la Kill above Panty and Stocking, but unlike Miles, I put Panty and Stocking above Luluko and Inferno Cop.
But also Luluko to me is that expression of Imaishi doing exactly what he wants when he's like, again, more like he has fewer constraints on him than he did at Gainax. Like when he's at Trigger, and especially working on specifically Space Patrol Luluko, he had complete creative control in a way that is impossible under most committee systems, just because of like the back end side of things. And so like when you want to say the most expressive, like here's animation in different styles the way I want it with no compromises, Luluko to me captures that, even if you don't like it as much.
See, to me, Luluko, yes, is a love letter to anime, animation, all of that. But like Luluko is also caught up in being the Astrobot of Trigger and Gainax, right? It's kind of like every episode of Luluko is a tribute to some part of the Gainax story and the Trigger story.
Is that not the case with Panty and Stocking? There are a lot of Gainax references.
There's a lot of Gainax. No, but the thing is, Panty and Stocking
Gainax just loves referencing itself.
Yeah, but
you haven't watched the Benobashi, Miles, but there's a lot in the Benobashi.
Yeah. But like Panty and Stocking to me feels more like a big melting pot of every cartoon ever made. And the Gainax references there are in the context of all of animation history, not just Gainax loving itself.
I don't see any Soviet representation in this anime. Geoff?
No, there isn't. There like don't they have like
there's Soviet animation references in Luluko, but not in this, if I'm remembering right.
No,
Watch as the commenters get me, like when I said Old Man in the Sea was Steinbeck, which is so stupid. I can't believe I said that.
I feel like we should probably
move up Cleopatra one.
Move Cleopatra up one. Yeah.
I agree.
I've been like thinking about it more. You know, the funny thing is I got back to thinking about it in the context of what all men do in their free time, thinking about the Roman Empire.
As one does.
I was like actually like thinking back on it, and I'm like, you know, actually the more I think about that, because like I was blasted when we watched Cleopatra, right? That was part of the fun. But like thinking back on it now, it is like a very good retelling, I think, of the actual historical facts in a Hanna-Barbera-y context. It does hit all of the important beats of that like period of history pretty well as a.
But at the end of the day, Panty Anarchy is better than the Queen of Sex. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Yeah, you know what? You're right. Panty is better at sex than Cleopatra, the Queen of Sex. And that's all. That's how our ranking
That's
goes.
all, folks.
Bye.
That's all, folks.
Bye.
You should cut it on That's All, folks. You should
That's
actually,
all, folks.
You should actually just. That's how the episode should end. If that won't get us copyright claim, which it probably
will absolutely get us copyright claim. Next time on Quest for the Best, Apocalypse Hotel.